And then I want to see how many people on here already have your access. Drop me a thumbs up. Give me something. Have you already logged into the software? Y'all got y'all, ooh, baby. Okay, love it, love it, love it. So once you get your P10, then we can get you into the software. Okay, y'all ready. I see all them thumbs up. Okay, all right. Congratulations. Talia, you don't have your access for the new software?
No, ma'am.
Oh, wow. You know you should have been came and knocked me over the head. Okay. You will be in there in the morning.
Okay.
Serenity, you got her? That's my lovely.
Yes, I do.
You will have it in the morning. Okay. All right, let's get this show on the road. If you've used TaxSlayer before, it should look very familiar to you. If you're brand new and you have only used free software, or maybe you've never even used software, period, because you're completely new to doing taxes. TaxSlayer is one of the most user-friendly tax softwares, really, that's out there to me. Is some of the other softwares are real busy, they kind of all over the place, but I feel like this software pretty much anybody can use. Can everybody see my screen? So when you log in, regardless to what office you're with, the screen is pretty much gonna look the same. The name of the office will just be here where it says "Welcome to the Financial Paramedic." Whatever office you are working up under, or if you have your own office, you will see your office name there, or whatever office you are working with. So I am going to start down this left-hand menu and just kind of go through these things to make sure that you guys understand kind of what's here, what's at your fingertips, where to find things, etc. So the main menu, this is here. The screen that we're on is the main menu. The second tab here, where it says client status, nothing is actually going to be there because you guys don't have any clients in. But once you have clients in, hold on one second, let me change this to 2025. This is what you'll see. So there, when you pull up this screen in real time, you will see the social security number of the individual, your tax client first and last name, their phone number. You'll see your name and you'll see the status of their return. So if the tax return has been transmitted, it's going to say transmitted. If it's been accepted, which means that the IRS have acknowledged their return, is going to say that. If it's been rejected, meaning the IRS did not accept the return for whatever reason, this will be here. This is also where you can find other information, such as whether or not the taxpayer has paid all of their fees. So it will show you everything. It will give like transmission data for the date and the time that this information was accepted by the IRS. It's a very detailed report. So if you're looking to see, oh, have my client actually been paid out? Because sometimes like they may have received their state refund, but they may have not received their federal refund. It's going to break down everything. It's going to show when we actually transmitted it, to the IRS. So if you put some returns in maybe in the evening and you wake up and it's like, okay, did they transmit my client return? You can find all of the latest status updates for your clients under this tab. E-file opt-out form. Now, once we are inside of the actual tax season, nobody should be filling this out. The IRS is really shunning upon receiving returns that are not filed electronically. Like even, pretty much when we needed to send documents in, we would used to have to mail everything in. The IRS is now also having like an upload tool where you can send things to them directly electronically. They are trying to get away from the paper, and they're very bad anyway with processing paper returns. But in the event for some reason, maybe you have a person who they both claimed a child and now the return is being rejected. It may be a need to fill out this form, and you will complete this form explaining to the IRS why are you not electronically filing the return. It's gonna be very rare to almost never that you're gonna fill this out, but in the event that you have to, you know where this information is. IRS mailing addresses. So this is where to file paper tax returns with or without a payment. And this opens up directly to the IRS. And in the event that you do have to mail a return for whatever reason, you're looking for the address, you would come down here and find the state that your client lives in. You would click on it and it will let you know where you need to mail your client's return in the event that it's necessary to mail a return. We really should only be having to mail a return if we completely have a rejected code that we just cannot seem to push past, or if we are filing previous years. So we can e-file back up to 3 years. So we'll be going into 2026. So we'll be able to file 25, e-file 25, tax year 24, tax year 23. Tax years 22 on back will have to be mailed in. And if you want to know where to mail that return to, you will come to this form to find that address. So we can file electronically transmit returns to the IRS dating back to 3 years. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 6th tab down is the IRS publications and instructions and fill-in forms. So pretty much every form that we need, we can find inside of the actual tax software. But if it's something that you want to read up on, if it's something that a client is asking you about, that you want to do research about, you can come here inside of the software and find this information. So tax guide for small businesses, travel and entertainment, exemption, standard deduction, medical and dental expenses, child and dependent care expenses. Any type of form or credit that the taxpayer may be eligible for. If you want to read up on it, if you want to know more information, you can come right to the software and find that information. And then they'll also let you know the form associated with it. And this is directly back to the IRS and to the IRS website. So this is not just information from the software, or just not information that me or any office represented here have come up with. This is information directly from the IRS. So it tells you, can you claim this? Can you claim the credit? You can look it up. You can see what's required if you have a client challenging you, or if you're just not clear. We are here to support you guys throughout the tax season, but if you're a late night person, maybe you up doing taxes 2, 3 in the morning, you might not want to call, somebody. These are tools and things that you have at your fingertips so that you can actually help yourself. And just do your research and just become more knowledgeable about taxes throughout the tax season. The next tab is technical support. So that number is there. Technical support starting January 2nd is pretty much open from like 7 to 7. And that's specific time. So if you are on like Eastern time, I know that's pretty late for us. Sometimes during the very beginning of tax season, there may be glitches with the software, or there can be times where there's so many people active that things may be going on. So if you feel like for whatever reason that the software is not working appropriately, maybe you feel like your number's not adding up, or maybe you trying to get to the e-file page and it's stuck, you can call in to technical support and get real help in real time, and they'll let you know, oh, we are aware of the problem and we're working on it, or we weren't aware, and they may troubleshoot or do different things. But if you're having problems with the software, please don't hesitate to call technical support. Because if you call us, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm experiencing this. And you may say, well, are you experiencing that too? So sometimes it may be your computer, it could be your internet access, or it can just be something that is actually going on with the software. So if you feel like things aren't working appropriately, don't hesitate to call tech support. This next tab actually goes through, if you click on the web navigation training here to the left on this one with the cloud, there are lots of training videos here. So during the course of this training, of us doing the software training, we are going to be walking you through everything, explaining everything to you guys. But just know that this is actually a resource here for if you forget something, you cannot remember, like everything associated with how to log in, how to navigate the home screen, start a return, the filing statuses, personal information entry, dependent entry, client list, branded mobile app, quick refund calculator, going paperless, carrying for prior client, everything that the software does, you can refer back here after training. If it's something else that you want to revisit, or maybe you felt like something wasn't clear, or like, maybe tonight you don't have your access yet, so you're not able to kind of sign on in real time to be reviewing this, you can come back here. This information is inside of the software already for you, for your reference. Lastly, on this menu, we have the refund calculator. So this is one of my favorite pieces of the software, and this is something that I want you guys to get comfortable using. So next week we will actually start with a return. Yeah, Thursday is tax training. So next Tuesday we will actually go through a return, but this right here you can start practicing with. So this is the refund calculator. So remember during training I was telling you guys that you can use the last check stub to give an estimate, but we cannot file with the last pay stub. Okay, so if you want to do estimates, even starting now, if you started around Thanksgiving and you want to start giving estimates, you can do that. So you would have the person send you their last pay stub, and you would enter that information in the W-2 section. So one, you would need to know their filing status. Well, let me back up. If you're going to do this, you want to get a form or create a form, and we talked about intake forms that collect all of this information. If somebody is willing to allow you to give them an estimate, you want to already see them as a client, and you want to capture everything. You don't want to just get their information, give them an estimate, and then you have no way to follow back up with them, or you don't make them a lead in the software. So although we're giving them an estimate, we want to get as much information as possible so we can give them as realistic of an estimate as possible. So we need to know what's their filing status. And you would pick it. Say head of household. How old is the taxpayer age? Say 35. Is the taxpayer blind? No. Is the taxpayer dependent? No. Does the taxpayer have an I-10? No. If a person has a social security number, they do not have an I-10. Number of dependents, let's say 3. So over here on the W-2 side, we will pick who is the owner, the taxpayer. If the person was married filing jointly, it would be an option here to click taxpayer or to click spouse. So I'm gonna click taxpayer because I made this person head of household. If I am using their last pay stub, I'm going to look at their wages or their earnings to date for the year. You want to look at the earnings to date for the year, not for just that particular pay period. So we're towards the end of the year. We'll say like this person made $27,899. Federal withholdings. If you are using a check stub, you're going to look at how much taxes, how much federal tax if they have paid in for the year. So let's say this person paid in $3,254. Additional compensation, that's not going to be on a pay stub. That is information that will be on a W-2. And basically, by the time people have their W-2s, we don't really need to do estimates. We just need to be filing. So that's why we are promoting this and we are using the last pay stub. If the person had multiple jobs, then we would come here and we would then put in the second, the third, pay stub that they have. So for this one, I'm just going to say that the person just worked one job. This is how much they made for the year so far. This is how much federal taxes they've had. And I would also recommend or suggest that you can do yourself. You can do yourself. And this information is not held here or retained. So every time you do a new estimate, you just go in and do it and it goes away. You can't go back and look at it. Dependents qualifying for EIC, I'm gonna say 3. Dependents qualifying for child tax credit, I'm gonna say 3. And that's because that's the number of dependents that the individual has. Gonna click next. So here, did the person have any interest income? The average person with that type of income doesn't. Dividends, no. Long-term gains or losses, short-term gains or losses, taxpayer IRA, taxpayer unemployment income, alimony received, taxpayer social security benefits, 0. For this sake, I'm not going to say that the person have any business income, but in the event that a taxpayer, so this same thing could be maybe like, let's say this person worked at Pizza Hut. And then also on the side, they do hair or something. So if you know that a person that you're doing an estimate for has a side hustle or they have something that they do on the side, even if you're giving them an estimate, you just want to try to get a guesstimate for them how much income they think that they've earned or how much of a loss do they think that they have taken for the year. The more accurate the information is that we can collect, the closer and the better, the more realistic the estimate is going to be. So then it's going to ask about deductions, medical expenses, real estate taxes, mortgage, all of the things, state and local, cash, check, charitable contributions, non-cash charitable contributions, unreimbursed employee expenses. So again, if a person has these things, but maybe they haven't calculated because we'll be doing this actually prior to starting tax season, just ask them to give the best estimate. And it's better to go a little less than to go a little bit more. So adjustments to income. Did the person have a deductible part of self-employed tax? Did the person pay student loan interest? Did the person, I'm gonna actually say this person paid $500 in student loan interest, retirement plan? Is the taxpayer eligible to participate in a work retirement plan, alimony paid, other adjustments? And then do they qualify for any credits? So you would ask your client here, did any of their dependents go to college, or did they themselves go to college? Tuitions and fees paid, child care expenses paid, estimated federal taxes paid. So based off of the information, this person made $27,899. The adjustment to income was $500, which was student loan interest. They have a deduction of $21,900. That is our standard deduction. So their estimated taxable income is $54.99. They have credits of 548, payments of 3,254. Their earned income credit and additional child tax credit is 10,554. Their estimated federal refund will be $13,808. Who can use $13,808 right now? That's a pretty refund, right? So once you have this information, then it just tell you to restart or go back. Now, if you feel let me see, and this is how it looks for the actual tax return for the estimate. And you could send this to the client, or you can just give them the information. And you guys, once you get comfortable, you can actually just put it into the tax software. So although the calculator is there, and if you captured all of their information and they're excited about their potential refund, then I would go on into the system and make them a profile, which means we would do it like we're actually getting ready to start a return, just so we can maintain their information. Does anybody have any questions about the refund calculator?
Yes.
Any questions about the refund calculator?
How do you?
It sounds like
Hey, I have a question. How accurate is this calculator?
the calculator is very accurate. It's just based on the information that you get from the client. So
All right, that's good. That's kind of all I want to know, because I don't want to I don't want someone else to come after me if they're like things are all messed up. You know what I mean?
yeah, what you mean? No, when you say if things is all messed up.
When I'm not saying I'm trying to mess anything. I'm just trying to like, yeah, they give me like one wrong number and like I put it in the system and they're like, oh well.
Send you back.
Yeah. How far is it gonna send me back? I'm not trying to. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm trying to get understanding of everything.
Yeah, so I mean, with this right here, you understand that this is a estimate, right? This is an estimate. So let's say you're trying to give somebody an estimate and they like, well, I work 3 jobs, but they only have they only had a pay stubs for 2. Like, you want to get as close as possible to having all of the information, because they can give you 2 pay stubs, but that third one, they might have made $20,000 and not had no taxes withheld. That's gonna change the refund a lot. So we want to get as much as their real information, and you let them know this is an estimate based off of the information that you gave me. Once tax time comes, if anything changes or you have additional documents or forms, it may affect the refund. Okay.
In the
Thank you. Sounds good.
Hello.
Yes, somebody have a question? So
When you doing the school portion, how do you know what to start at and for school?
if the person is a college student,
Yes, like say like the person that's filing the taxes actually go to school, and you trying to just get them the estimate. Do you like? Is there a certain number that you put there?
you would just ask them how much out of pocket costs do they think they had, because if a person had $10,000 in scholarships and they paid $3,000 out of pocket, they not getting nothing. They have to have more of an out of pocket expense than they had received in like gifts and scholarships, if that makes sense. So somebody who paid totally nothing out of pocket to go to school, that credit is not going to work for them.
Okay, that
So
makes sense.
yeah, so if they say they don't know, then give them the estimate without it, because if they are eligible for the American Opportunity Credit, then they will be looking at an extra $1,000. So if it works in their favor, they're looking at an extra 1,000, but you would hate to tell them that they get an extra 1,000, but they don't qualify for it now. So we want to get as close as possible so we can lock them in and keep them happy.
Okay, and do so everyone with kids always get to earn the 2 credits that you put for the kids?
That depends on the age of the kids. So if their children are 17 or older, the fee is reduced. So if they got kids that's 17 and under, then they max out. But then there are also income stipulations for earned income credit. Earned income credit is a credit for low income individuals. So if you got somebody who made 70, 80,000 for the year, they're not getting the earned income credit this year is close. The max out rate is about 8,000. So the higher the income, you start phasing out for getting the max amount, if that makes sense. So the lower, it's a low income credit.
I have one more question. Say you worked multiple jobs throughout the year and like they weren't all always consistent. Like they were like 3 months, 5 months, and then like another 7 months. Like would that affect like how your taxes would come out, like good or bad? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, with the taxes, there's no really good or bad. It's just your situation. Because a person can work 3 or 4 or 5 jobs and they can have good money withheld and they can get a nice refund. And you can have somebody else who worked that number of jobs and didn't have money withheld and now they owe, or maybe they don't owe, but they're not getting a refund. People feel like if they're not getting a refund, that's bad. It's not really bad. It's just based on your situation. So if you're a single individual, you don't have no kids, you made 40,000 and you end up getting a refund of $100, that's actually good. That means you paid the government correctly. You got the max amount of money during the year. We've just kind of been conditioned that everybody get big refunds. People with small kids and low income are pretty much the ones that get big refunds. There are exceptions to that rule, but that's general.
I only say that because I am kind of young when I'm coming into this industry, so I kind of want to know everything there is about this, and I want to know if I can, start a life out of doing this. I mean, not really in life, this little career for myself too. I can like start making some real money. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
and I actually when I was in high school, I was doing a business class, and I before I even sorry to cuss, but before I was even worried about this, I was worried about taxes and how much like yearly I'd get if I made a certain amount. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's good because you're in a space where you can educate other young people who actually think and feel like you. And it's a need, one, for males in this space, and for educated young people. So most of y'all heard the testimonial from Serenity. She on here tonight, the young girl that I was like, she's super young, been with me since she was like 18. She's on here and she's created a space for herself in this lane. So she does taxes with me, but she have her own clients as well.
I get that. it feels like this is actually working for me. Like I mean, like the diagrams and everything you're showing me, it really it's really setting in. So like it's not like I'm not learning anything from this. It's actually a really good program, and I'm glad you guys actually do this because most people don't even know nothing about taxes, and then once they end up do figure out about taxes, they actually end up owing in, and like you'll be so behind you don't know what to do with yourself.
Exactly. So you in a great space to be a leader for young individuals in this space, and for people that are around you. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
I see some questions in the comments. I can do another one. Somebody was asking for married filing jointly. And we're gonna actually do some full scenarios, but I just wanted to introduce y'all to this, and I want you to be comfortable using this calculator, especially like through the holiday season, while you're talking to people, while you're sitting around with family. Just use it and play with it and plug in your own information and see, what the numbers look like. And that way it allows you to really come back to class with actual questions and be better prepared for tax season. So y'all want me to run through one more scenario? Okay. I'm gonna do one more. So the only thing, guys, is about the calculator. Once you do it and you erase it, it's no longer there. So make sure you capture all of the information for your client. So married filing jointly was one of the main ones I seen. So I'm gonna do that one. Married filing jointly. Taxpayer age, let's say 27. Spouse is 31. And when you're doing this, guys, when it say taxpayer and spouse, the taxpayer is whoever is listed first on the return. So it's no real rhyme or reason, but whoever you list first, if it's married filing jointly, whether that's the husband or the wife, I normally list out the person who has the higher income as the primary or the taxpayer, and then I make the other person the spouse. So is the taxpayer blind? Is the spouse blind? No. Is the taxpayer a dependent? Make sure you pay attention to that, guys, because the asking, is the taxpayer a dependent, meaning that somebody else can claim the taxpayer. If you mark that, that changes, because if somebody can claim you as a dependent, you don't qualify for certain credits. So make sure you understand that. Again, does the taxpayer have the I-10? No. Does the spouse? No. Number of dependents? Are we making the married filing jointly with dependents? Let me see what y'all say. Okay, yes. Let's give them 2 dependents. Okay, let's say 2 dependents. Number of dependents for earned income credit. And if the couple, the head of household, whatever dependents they're claiming, they should be eligible for earned income credit or child tax credit. The only way that they would not be eligible for those things is maybe if they're splitting the credit with somebody else. Like sometimes these husband and wife, one may claim for earned income credit, one may claim for child tax credit, but in general, whatever dependents are being claimed on a return are normally being claimed for qualifying purposes. Here we go. So we gonna say the taxpayer. Y'all want them to be high income or medium income? What y'all want to see? I'm checking the chat. High income.
Do a low income.
Well, we know low income gonna get a high refund. So when you say low, okay, so somebody said 100K plus. Okay. All right, so we're gonna say one taxpayer made, let's say 51,999. We're gonna say the spouse made like 49,888, 49,800. So that's close to 100K, or that's actually a little bit over, I believe. Yeah, okay, a little bit over. So interest, most people don't have interest. If they do, it's pretty low. Like they might have some type of bank accounts or whatever that's gaining interest, dividends, long-term gains or losses. You may see this during like COVID and stuff. Everybody was into like crypto and stocks and Bitcoin and all of that stuff. And we were getting lots of documents with stuff like that. I haven't seen it so much within the last couple of years. People then pretty much cashed out and spent that money, but that's kind of what that relates to. So don't make sure you ask people, because some people are still, a lot of people are still into like day trading and stuff like that. They may have long-term, short-term gains or losses, but it's not necessarily common. IRA distributions, a lot of high income earners do actually contribute to an IRA to help offset their taxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put on here maybe like 2,500. Alimony receive, if they making that kind of money, they most likely not getting Social Security, so we're gonna leave that. Taxpayer end of the year business, we're gonna leave that off for now. So we got medical expenses paid. Sometimes people in this bracket, they probably will be like, you know what, I had to have surgery, or I have braces, or I have different things that I spent on. So we're gonna give them a little cushion here. Let's say they did 3,000 out of pocket with that. Real estate taxes paid, mortgage interest paid. If they are married filing jointly, if the person owns their home, you always want to ask them, do they have a mortgage interest statement? This is something that a lot of people just, for whatever reason, totally forget. And depending on how much interest they paid through the year, it can make a difference with their refund or how much they owe, especially depending on the cost of their house. If the cost of the home was over 750,000, they get an additional tax break. But homes are really expensive now, and when you start doing these taxes, if you got people who are owning their home and you ask for that statement, you'll see how much people are actually paying in interest on these homes. State and local and personal taxes paid, they would need a form for that. Cash and check, charitable contributions. A lot of people do actually, pay their tithes or give to online companies, whatever like that. If they do, you can put that in there. You can ask them how much they paid. When tax time comes, if they say that they did have these donations, we do need to actually collect paperwork to support what they're saying that they gave. But while we're doing the estimate, it's okay to take their word for it. So deductible part of self-employed tax, that's usually 0. We will probably have a lot of people with student loan interest paid, because student loans are back in, like people are left and right kind of really frustrated because repayment is back with these student loans. So especially if you got high income earners or you got people that could possibly owe, you want to ask them as a means to help reduce how much they would owe in taxes. Are you currently paying on your student loans? Do you have your form to show how much interest you paid for the year? And that is a form 1098E. E is an echo. And we will put that in. Retirement plan contributions. Is the taxpayer eligible to participate in a work retirement?
I'm sorry, ma'am. You are question. If I have this job can I go to state and still be able to do my job or no? Because I only because as I understand this, I could be wrong. Is that I can like like work my way around and try to figure out like get other people's taxes, or is it strictly Illinois? Because I'm in Illinois right now. Not sure where everybody else is, but
No, you can do taxes for anybody anywhere. So if you're promoting online, if you're on Facebook and you are promoting and somebody from Georgia reach out to you and ask you if you can prepare their taxes, you can do their taxes. You don't have to be in the same state.
oh yeah, that's great. That's great news
But
because I mean
state benefits are different.
I don't want I want my what's it called, my work to be cut off by just like a certain amount of people that I can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're open to do taxes. That's one of the greatest parts about taxes. You can be in Dubai, you can be on the beach, you can be wherever. As long as you can get the paperwork, you can do the taxes for the individual. You don't have to be in the same state. So is the taxpayer or their dependents attending their first 4 years of college? So back to the college question. Let's say yes. And let's say tuitions and fees paid is $4,000. Child care expenses paid. So if they have kids 12 or under and they pay for after school expenses, they can put this information here. This child care expenses is not related to like if the child goes to a private school and they're paying tuition, it's aftercare, daycare. That's what qualifies, not the tuition for like private school. And then estimated federal taxes paid. Don't get this confused with taxes withheld. This is taxes paid. So if somebody felt like, oh, I knew I was gonna owe, so I paid quarterly taxes, and I've been paying every 3 months, I've been paying the IRS $500 in the event to help offset me owing. That's where you will put that information. So based off of the information that we entered, this couple would owe $2,057. And there are different questions and things that we can do. So now I would be asking again about, do you have the mortgage interest statement? Did you own or operate a business during the tax season? So you would go back through some of those deductions and adjustments to see if we can help lower the amount that they owe. Because again, imagine if we're given a estimate and we only have their earnings up through November and they still haven't been paid for December. So they would either need to be having more taxes withheld in December, or we would need to be looking for ways that we can help them offset this amount. So technically for a couple that this is the scenario for, is not the worst thing in the world and it's not that bad. 2000 is actually, it's not bad. But for some people, they will be like, oh my God, like people don't want to owe anything. And we get that. But this is the scenario. And we can figure out how to help them. And sometimes there are going to be ways that we can help people. And sometimes it's not going to be ways that we can help people. It just depends on what they did throughout the tax year. We good in the chat, I see. So if they owe taxes or they're gonna owe taxes, then they have to pay out of pocket. We can't get paid from the refund if they're not getting a refund. So then that is a conversation. So doing estimates kind of let you see where your clients are and helps you save you time during tax season, because you don't want to be completely working on somebody's taxes, see that they're not getting a refund that they owe, and now they don't want to pay. So if a person will owe money, they have to pay out of pocket. I know.
Can I
it's a-
step in real quick? Ms. Essence?
Yes. Would you say, Karen?
Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, I just wanted to speak on where she had said, how do they pay us if they owe money? Now, that's entirely up to you how you would collect it, and or if they owe money to the IRS. There's different payment processors you can use. Some people use Zelle, Apple Pay, Cash App, different payment processors available. I apologize about the noise in the background. But that's when you kind of got to judge your situation, because let's say the situation on the screen, for example, says the person made 104,000 for the year. You would easily be able to potentially ask that person for, if it's 400, 500, whatever their tax fee may be that you set. And also in the event where they do owe money, you are able to lower your fee if you would like. Maybe, for example, they didn't make very much that year and their refund came out, so they owed $1,000, but you didn't really feel comfortable asking them for that 500. Maybe you're more comfortable saying, I'll make you a deal this year. Due to your situation, instead of charging you our full price, I'd be willing to charge you 175. They love to hear that. Oh, you're cutting me a deal on top of the fact that I already owe all this money. Just different items, but you are able to mess with your fee number for each client, because it will vary depending on the type of return and the amount of work that you put into it.
And they do have to pay before we transmit to the IRS. So they can't, we're not sending it over, in hopes that they'll pay later. They have to go ahead and have an arrangement in. So even if their filing maybe in February, we can give them until the end of the season and, do a payment plan, but it will need to be paid in full before we transmit to the IRS. Thank you, Carol. Everybody clear on that? I feel like it was something else I seen in the chat that I wanted to address. Also, guys, so the other thing too is the W-4 withholding. So the W-4 is the W-4 is the form that we complete to tell an employer how much taxes to withhold from our pay. So people love to say, well, I didn't know, or they wasn't withholding. Like, when you get your check, you have to look at that. And that is a teaching moment to take away that you can start with now, because clients always want to say that they did not know, but you have to look at that. And so we got less than 60 days in 2025. Let's soften the blow. Let's go ahead and max out our withholding. So I know I might owe, but I can owe a little less if I go ahead and have the most withheld, plus I pay an additional $50 or $60 for the next few paychecks. So that is something that is definitely like a social media post. Like, have you looked at your federal withholding for the year? Because the Social Security, the FICA, all those other taxes that's being withheld is not counted. The only tax that is counts is the state withheld and the federal withheld. And when you look at the year-to-date earnings and then you look at the federal taxes withheld today, if it's zero, unless you made a little bit of money and you got a lot of kids, it's gonna be a problem. If you made, oh my God, I had travel nurses that made $300,000 and they had $2,000 held, and they owe $50K. And I'm not lying. I'm not making up nothing. This is like real stuff. So you can talk to people now. Have have that conversation. And a lot of people don't know how to read the pay stubs. So pull your pay stub out. Take a look at it. Familiarize yourself, and then help your clients. Teach your clients, and then lock them in. You becoming a knowledgeable, trusted tax professional in this space, and don't be afraid. Even if you get it, you can collect all the information and come back to us and say, okay, help me. I don't really know how to read this, and we can help you. Y'all good?
Oh, no, wait, one more question. Okay, so I'm assuming the way we communicate is through a group chat, right? If we have a problem or anything for someone else's taxes.
Yeah, so you in the school group, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so you in a school group, most likely you will have a team lead or a compliance manager. There's gonna be some additional layers that will be in there as we continue to go and actually get into tax season.
That's good because sometimes anybody needs help with something. I mean, we're not all perfect. Some things, some things we're not gonna know. So I just had to point that out. I mean, like we have to at least help each other with some things, you know.
Yes,
Well,
there's
thank
a
you.
lot of individuals in this space. Some people are totally brand new to the space, like yourself. There are some people that have a little bit of experience, but are still learning. So definitely start in the school group, and then you would just level up from there with getting your questions answered. But you'll have assistance all throughout the tax season.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. And then it's just a few more things on here that I want to show you guys, like so this right here, this you can see where my cursor is. This is where you can change. So we can do all these years back up to 2020, but we can only e-file up to the last 3. So we'll be able to e-file 2025, 2024, 2023. 2022 on back will have to be mailed. So you can complete it here in the tax return, in the tax software, but then it will have to be printed off and mailed. Okay. So this is where make sure you in the right tax year if you're doing a prior year and not the current year. Right here, we have the message center, and you can actually put in a message. You might say, you know, hey, Candace, or hey, Kara, Joe Smith is ready, or Aiden, you might put in here, I put in a client, but I'm not sure about his last W-2. Can you take a look at it? So you can actually communicate with your team manager right here inside of the software as well.
Yeah, that's good. Because honestly, I was thinking about because I did work last year, and I only worked for a couple months. But the only reason why I got booted is because my ID expired. But the plan, my idea is, I didn't know I would be able to file for last year. I don't want to file and have to return. So I mean, do you think it's better to not file for like the work months that you only worked for like a couple months, or is it worth it? Do you think?
It depends on your total income for the overall year. So it don't matter that you work several jobs just here and there. If you made more than a standard deduction, then you have a filing liability and you need to file.
All right. So if I weren't to file for last year, that's tax evasion, right? Or no? I'm just want to know this. I ain't gotta know everything.
You just need to file.
All right.
In the IRS, the information is already submitted to the IRS. So that's what people don't realize. So one, guys, we can only file for some people think that they can file like, oh, I didn't file in 2024. So I'm gonna file all my 2024 and my 2025 taxes in 2025. Whatever year the income was earned, you have to file it for that year. So even in 2027, if you never filed 2025, we have to go back to 2025 and plug that information in, and whatever laws was applicable at that time will be applicable to that income. Okay.
All right, that
Yeah.
makes sense. But the okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of something else on the top of thing like that, but that wouldn't make sense. But thank you for the clearing that up. It makes a little more sense. I just didn't want to. You know, sometimes you gotta be cautious with things you do. Because I mean, say you didn't make as much last year. I mean, I'm pretty sure taxes really work in favor of the people that don't really earn as much. But at the same time, it could backfire on people that don't earn as much as well. But I just didn't know if I didn't make enough last year, because people were telling me you have to make a certain amount to file. So I thought, nah, there's no point. I only worked for like 3-4 months, so what's the point? But now that you cleared that up, I'm gonna see about filing for last year, see what deductions are. But thank you for that.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
whatever your, go ahead, Kara.
I'm sorry, I did just want to say this real quick too, for anybody who has not gotten their piece in yet, if you have not filed your current year's taxes or prior year's taxes, they will stop you in the middle of the application. We will not be able to add you into the software until we have your piece in as well. So I did just want to make that known for anybody who has not filed this current year. It will prevent you from going further with this program until you are compliant with the IRS.
And that is the IRS, that's not us.
Oh, well, that's good because I was even I mean, I was, but I really wasn't 18 when I was working because I came from Michigan to Illinois by myself. So like I didn't really have really much to go on. So that's good. Thanks.
Yeah, so go if for 2024, if you need to file, whatever your filing status gonna be, if your filing status gonna be single, you're gonna go and look up and see that the standard deduction is 15,000. If you total up how much you made for the year and is less than 15,000 or whatever that number is for standard deduction, you do not have a filing liability. But it could work in your favor if you pay taxes in, although you don't have a liability, you can get that money back. So it just depends on the scenario. So gather your documents and then you can get with your office lead and they can assist you. Okay?
That sounds good. Thanks.
All right. So we wrapping up, guys. The message center, I showed you that. In the event that your client rejects, you will be able to click the reject button and you will be able to get an explanation as to why. Anytime a return rejects, the IRS will provide a code and a detail that say, okay, well, this person is rejected because it shows that they should have a identity theft pin, or this is rejected because it looked like the person was prior rejected for earned income credit, etc. So if your team lead or compliance is reaching out to you and they say your client rejected and you like, what are you talking about? You can go here and click on it and it will show your client. And then next time we get together, we will actually start a new 2025 tax return to just kind of walk you guys through everything, through all of the different menus. If you have your access, you can feel free to go in and start playing with the software. You can start putting in the information. You can play with the estimator calculator, whatever you want to do. You can't break it or hurt it, and we can deactivate or remove all of the clients that you put in for just like training purposes. So make sure if you put in somebody in, maybe you just playing with your daughter or your son or your cousin or something like that, just put Keisha training, whatever. So you know that it is a training return for yourself. All right, so just wanted to introduce you guys to where to find certain things. You will have the buttons here that say start new tax return, and I think you will have the button that say client search. Of course, I am my office owner, so I have more options there. I don't want you guys to think something is wrong because you don't see all of these options under your office, and you should only be able to see the clients assigned to you. You should only see the clients that you are actually working on that are your active clients. Okay. Kira, Candace, is there anything y'all want to add?
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for joining us tonight, and we will also dive a little deeper into the software training. Forgive me, I don't have my calendar in front of me. I think it's the
That's gonna
8th,
be the following
13th.
Tuesday. We got regular
Okay.
tax training on Thursday.
Okay, perfect. I didn't want to misquote it, but we will dive more into that. We also have some other training coming up for you guys. We appreciate everyone taking their time out for this evening, and we look forward to the next training with you.
May I have a just short question?
Yes.
So this suite revenue software is the software we submit the for the tax return, and also the data for all the clients, right? So I just wondering, so do we have to pay for the data every year, like subscription? extra charge? I mean,
What you mean to be able to access the software?
because all the data are just there for the clients, right? Every year. So I know that there will be like 40% when we submit the tax return. And is there any other charge for the data for the client?
It's not any charge for the data. There are some bank fees, a transmission fee. There are a couple of other fees that we will go over as we wrap up training, but it's not for the client's data per se. It's
Mhm.
just a cost associated with the software and what the bank charged to be able to be paid from the refund.
Okay. And you mentioned like for the tax return, it has like 3 years we can check back, right?
One more time, I'm sorry.
For the client's tax return data, we can look back like for 3 years, right?
Right. I mean, you can go back up to 5 years, but we can only electronically submit the last 3 years. So
Oh, okay.
electronically is better, it's faster. When we start mailing in returns, the IRS be saying they didn't get it, they don't have it. It just can really be a headache. So you can go back all the way up to the years you see here, but electronically file the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And just curious questions is how many is like the Sweet Revenue software has already been used?
One more time, I'm sorry.
How many years? I mean, what is the year like the Sweet Revenue, this software being in use?
How many
I mean,
years have Sweet? I mean, it's tax
yeah,
it's an endless amount of
I
years.
just want to know how strong this Sweet Revenue company, you know, how how many this software are being in use?
I mean, it's powered by TaxSlayer, so TaxSlayer has been around since the beginning of time. We've been using TaxSlayer since 2017.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
Yeah, I can have a question. So I know you said that we should have the clients pay once we complete our services, right? But at least for my case, I'm pretty sure that most of my clientele are going to be low income earners. So maybe like a scenario, they don't have the money to pay upfront, but they are expecting a refund. How would you feel, or what do you think? Do you think a good alternative to that would be for them to get their refund and then part of that refund they could use to pay for the services that I performed as an alternative?
So if they're getting a refund, it's not a problem because the prep fee can be paid from the refund. As long as the refund is large enough. So you got somebody that's getting 12,000, and your prep fee is 400. That's not an issue. The issue is only when they owe. So most of the low income earners, they're already aware of pretty much how this works and that they're going to pay their fees from their refund.
All right, for sure. Thank you.
It's only for people who not getting a refund that it can create an issue for. But a lot of people who not getting a refund, they kind of know.
Okay, I have a question. How do we determine the prep fee? Do we make up our own or?
Inside of school, there is or will be a module that will go over the basis of how we're kind of coming to the average cost for the particular type of tax situation. So based on that, you may say, well, I want to charge a little bit more, or maybe I want to charge a little bit less, but you have something where you're not just feeling like you pulling a number out the sky. And then also when you're preparing it when you get to the e-file page, you'll see a number that will give you kind of like a guesstimated ballpark figure of, based off of the number of forms, based off of the tax situation, what the system would charge them. And again, it's up to you if you want to roll with that number, if you want to do a little less, if you want to do a little bit more. But you won't just have to pull a number out the sky. Anything else?
When having questions, do you want us to, like when we start filing, do y'all prefer us to ask the questions in school or or contact our person directly?
You're gonna know the exact layers to go through. Because again, you might have depending on the office, you might have a team lead, you'll have a compliance officer, and then you'll have your manager. But that will be clear for you guys on who to contact and, where to contact, and whether it's in the morning or if it's in the evening, this is who you can reach out to.
Real quick, I just wanted to step in. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Okay, I just wanted to step in real quick. I saw a question that said, how do we set up payment to be taken from the refund? At the end, which you guys didn't see the step today, but at the end of the actual tax return step, towards the end, there is an option where you can set up if they are having it taken from their refund, if they're getting a refund advance, how much you want your fees to be. You also will put their banking information in there, their driver's license or state ID, collect signature, and then submit. So you are able to set up your payment in there. If they will be paying out of their refund, you are able to set that up within the software. It is towards the very end of the return.
And so if you don't have your P10 yet, go ahead and get it so that you can be able to get inside the software and follow along in real time. I intentionally did not go through an actual return tonight to give more people time to get their access. So if you've been waiting, the P10 is $18.75. Go ahead and get it so that you can follow along, because you sometimes don't understand or know what questions you have until you actually in there. And if you do that after class, it might not be as beneficial for you as you being able to follow and go through it in real time, or for you to be able to go ahead and have access before class and prepare your questions.
Is there a way to check the years that you might not have filed, or for you to check for your client, so they might want to go back a few years?
Yeah, they would have to request a transcript from the IRS. They would do an income transcript and see what years are missing.
Okay.
Sorry, I have another question. I searched online for ChatGPT and it says in California, we have to get a certificate or EA or CPA to file tax return for others. Is that right? So I'm just wondering if I just get a PTI number, is that enough, or I have to get a certificate?
Yeah, so certain states like New York, California, Oregon, it's a couple more. They have their own state regulated. So if you live in California and you want to file taxes for individuals in California, they do have some additional requirements, and we can get that for you based off of where you are. It's only a select few states that apply for, and those states do make you, if you live there, go through some additional requirements. So you will still be able to file for other states, but if you want to file for people in California and you are a California resident, yes, you have to go through those additional steps to be able to file the state returns. It's not for federal, it's just for state.
Okay.
All right.
So for federal is okay, but not for state.
Right. But we pretty much, as we're doing the federal, the information in the software is also collecting the information for the state. So you want to be able to
Yeah.
service your, service your client like that. So
Mm-hmm.
we can get you that information and then you can just take care of it. It's normally not, it's an extra step. It's kind of a headache, but it'll be worth you doing, especially if you know you're going to service a number of clients in that area.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so who gonna have their P10 by the next class? Drop me a 1. Who still need to get their P10 and gonna have it by the next class? So we got next Tuesday. On Thursday, we have an actual tax training. So I know a lot of you guys will be there. And then back on Tuesday, we have another software training. And then I believe that we are off for a little bit until after the Thanksgiving holiday. Yeah, the time is passing so fast. So if you have your P10, then get with your office manager so you can get access to the software. If you don't have a P10, you can't get access. Yes, the NYP10 is different from the P10. So guys, everything is state and federal, state and federal. The P10 is issued by the IRS. The IRS is the federal government. So they are the ones to say you can be paid to prepare taxes. Now, then when you get with the states, like I said, it's like Oregon, it's California, it's New York, and I think it's a couple more that I'm just having a brain fog about, but those particular states set their own requirements for what tax professionals need to do. Every other state pretty much just say if the federal government say you can file, you can file. You don't have to do anything else. But the NYP10 New York is very greedy, so they want theirs. They definitely, California, we know the cost of living is high there. They have their own. Oregon, I don't know about, but they definitely have their own requirements as well. So it's just a select few states. So you can federally prepare taxes, but if you live in that state and you want to prepare taxes for individuals in that state, you have to complete those requirements that state make you do. Okay. So I see the chat is. Alina say, I'm not sure who my office manager is. How did you come in, Alina? Did somebody invite you here? Did you come in from a job posting on Indeed, Monster, or something of that nature?
I'm pretty sure Candace is her office manager.
Okay. So Candace will take care of you. Congratulations, Teresa. I see you say you got yours yesterday. Guys, yes, and the rest of the questions that you have as far as like how they get paid, what are the fees and everything, all of that we're going to go through on the next software training. So make sure you get your P10 and get your access. And if you have it, we're going to drop some mock information or returns into the school groups, and then you will be able to play with that and see what questions that you actually have and see what you understand and what you don't understand, and start using those check stubs as well to start playing with those with the calculator estimator. Okay. So we don't have any questions or concerns. I'm going to let you guys go. if you have more questions, drop them in the school group. We will be over there to answer them and clarify. All right. Y'all good? All right. Good night, y'all.
You got it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.